You're not paranoid. You're being played every single day. The scary part? You don't even realize it. Every interaction, every casual conversation, every small request, even the innocent smiles you see, might hide something else. Friedrich Nietzsche warned us about this over a century ago. He believed the most dangerous forms of manipulation aren't loud, they're silent. They don't force you into obedience. They seduce you into giving it away. And today, we're diving into 9 hidden tactics people use to control your thoughts, bend your emotions, and quietly reshape your reality without you ever noticing. By the end of this video, you won't just recognize these tactics, you'll be immune to them. This is part 1. Let's begin. Let me tell you something. Nietzsche understood deeply. Power isn't always about force. It's about influence. And influence, when done right, doesn't feel like control. It feels like connection. Think about it. The people manipulating you the most rarely appear hostile. They're friendly, charming, understanding. They present themselves as someone who gets you. They lower your defenses. And then, slowly, they start shaping your decisions. Nietzsche called this the soft cage. Rules and behaviors designed so carefully that you don't even notice you're trapped. You think you're acting freely, but you're just performing inside someone else's script. And the worst part? It often comes from the people closest to you. Friends, family, colleagues, even partners. This brings us to the first manipulation tactic. One of the most common, most invisible, and most emotionally devastating of them all. There's a specific look someone gives you right after you say no. It's not anger. It's not rage. It's disappointment. A quiet, heavy silence. Like you failed them in some deep, unspoken way. Welcome to the guilt hook. One of the most powerful psychological weapons ever used against you. Here's why it works. Guilt doesn't attack your logic. It attacks your identity. It doesn't challenge what you think. It challenges who you are. Nietzsche believed morality, as society teaches it, is often a tool of control. We're conditioned to believe. Good people say yes. Good people sacrifice. Good people put others first. So when someone uses guilt, they're not arguing with you. They're making you argue with yourself. Suddenly, your mind spirals. Was I too selfish? Was I too cold? Am I a bad person for saying no? And here's the trap. Their discomfort suddenly becomes your problem. Their disappointment becomes your shame. You feel pressured to make things right. So, you give in. You agree to what you didn't want. And just like that, your boundaries dissolve. Most manipulators won't scream or demand. They'll subtly perform pain. A sigh, a silence, a phrase like, "I thought you cared. I guess I can't count on you. Wow, after everything I've done for you." Each one carefully designed to make you carry their emotional weight. And here's the genius of it. When you finally give in, they've trained you without ever saying a word. Next time, you'll hesitate before saying no. Next time, you'll bend without being asked. And eventually, you won't even realize. You're making decisions based on their approval, not your own desires. That's real power. When someone can control you without ever appearing to. This is where Nietzsche's philosophy becomes liberation. To reclaim your freedom, you have to reprogram what goodness means. Goodness isn't self-betrayal. Kindness isn't saying yes to everyone. And love isn't sacrificing yourself to earn worth. When you say no, and someone tries to make you feel small for it, hold the line. Do not explain. Do not justify. Do not apologize. Say it once. Say it clearly. and let the silence do its work. Because here's the truth. Their discomfort is not your emergency, but guilt is just the first layer. Manipulators rarely stop there. Once they sense you're vulnerable, they move deeper. And the next tactic? It's even more dangerous. It doesn't make you feel guilty. It makes you feel confused. It's called the shifting mirror, a subtle, disorienting trick that flips reality upside down until you start doubting your own memory. And if you've ever left a conversation feeling like you were the problem, when deep down you knew you weren't, you've already experienced it. In part 2, we'll break down exactly how the shifting mirror works, why it's so hard to detect, and the precise strategy to dismantle it before it dismantles your confidence. In part 1, we exposed the guilt hook, how people use your own morality against you to make you obey without realizing it. But guilt is only the opening move, because once someone knows they can manipulate your emotions, they take the game deeper into your mind. This next tactic doesn't just pressure you. It doesn't guilt you. It rewrites reality itself until you can't even trust your own memory. Nietzsche warned us about this subtle form of control, a quiet bending of perception where you lose your center and question your truth. He called it the destruction of certainty. I call it the shifting mirror. And once you see it, you'll understand why so many people stay trapped in toxic cycles without ever realizing how they got there. Have you ever left a conversation feeling wrong-footed, like you're the one who messed up, even though you know you were the one being mistreated? That's not an accident. That's manipulation. Here's how the shifting mirror works. You confront someone about their behavior. Maybe they lied. Maybe they disrespected you. Maybe they crossed a boundary. You bring it up calmly, expecting clarity. But instead, the focus instantly flips. Suddenly, you're the problem. They say things like, "Why are you always so dramatic? You're impossible to talk to. Maybe if you weren't so sensitive, I wouldn't act this way." And just like that, you're no longer confronting their actions. You're defending your emotions. This is psychological sleight of hand, a kind of emotional magic trick. The manipulator doesn't deny what happened. Instead, they redirect reality. The issue isn't what I did. The issue is how you reacted. And in that instant, they've done something far more dangerous than just avoiding accountability. They've hacked your sense of certainty. Because here's the truth. Your brain craves closure. It wants stories to make sense. So when someone creates confusion, your mind will grasp for clarity, even if it means accepting false blame, just to restore balance. And this is where Nietzsche's warning comes alive. He said, "Whoever defines reality owns the power." If someone can make you question your memory, your judgment, your instincts, they don't need to control your actions directly. They've already made you control yourself. The shifting mirror is a doorway into a deeper form of manipulation, gaslighting. It's not always obvious. Sometimes it's subtle. A raised eyebrow, a sarcastic laugh, a casual, "That's not what happened, you're imagining things." And slowly, you stop trusting your own perception. You begin doubting your feelings, your memories, even your intuition. This is the real danger. Once someone teaches you not to trust yourself, they no longer need to argue. You'll argue with yourself, and you'll lose every time. The way out isn't easy, but it's simple. Step 1. Anchor to the moment. Write down the facts as they happen. Not your feelings, not your interpretations. Just the raw details. Because the next time they twist reality, you'll have something solid to stand on. Step the 2nd of September, erase feelings from facts. Manipulators want you reactive. They thrive on chaos. When you slow down and calmly separate what actually happened from how they want you to feel, you strip them of their power. Step 3. Refuse the story swap. When they say, "You're overreacting," respond with, "This isn't about my feelings. It's about your actions." Then stop talking. Silence starves manipulation. Nietzsche once said, "Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed." The shifting mirror survives because we allow it to. Because, deep down, we want to believe people are better than they are. We want to believe they care. We want to believe the story that makes us feel safe, even when it isn't true. But the moment you stop chasing their version of reality and stand firmly in your own, everything changes. You'll start seeing patterns you missed. You'll spot manipulation before it happens. And most importantly, you'll stop apologizing for things you didn't do, because the shifting mirror only works when you keep looking into it. In Part 3, we'll expose the next tactic, one that pretends to be vulnerability, but is actually a trap for your empathy. It's one of the most common strategies used by people who want to own your loyalty before you even know who they really are. And once you see it, you'll never unsee it. In Part 2, we expose the shifting mirror, the manipulation tactic that flips reality, making you doubt yourself until you start apologizing for things you didn't do. But manipulation evolves. When one tactic stops working, skilled manipulators switch strategies, and the next one is even harder to see coming. Because this time, they won't fight you. They won't challenge you. They won't even make you question reality. Instead, they make you care about them. This is fake vulnerability, a tactic Nietzsche would have called power disguised as weakness. And once you understand it, you'll start seeing just how often people use your empathy as a weapon against you. Picture this. You meet someone new. It could be a friend, a coworker, even someone you're dating. Within hours or days, they share something deeply personal. A childhood trauma, a painful breakup, a betrayal they've suffered, maybe even a dark secret they've never told anyone before. Instantly, you feel trusted. You feel special. Your guard softens. And that's exactly the point. Because not all vulnerability is real. Some of it is engineered. Nietzsche believed that humans have an instinctive drive to seek belonging. We crave connection, and we're drawn to those who seem open and wounded. But a skilled manipulator knows this. They know your empathy is a door, and all they have to do is knock softly enough to make you open it yourself. This is the faux vulnerability trap, one of the most common manipulation strategies in relationships, friendships, and even workplaces. Here's how it works. Step 1. Overshare too soon. They skip the slow, natural process of building trust and throw you into an emotional deep end. Step 2. Trigger obligation. By sharing something raw, they create an unspoken debt. You start thinking, I can't leave now. I can't let them down. I owe them my support. Step 3. Leverage your empathy. Once you've taken on their pain, you feel responsible for their happiness, their healing, even their mistakes. And here's the trap. Your kindness becomes a chain. Nietzsche saw through this performance. He believed that many people present weakness, not because they're truly broken, but because power hides in helplessness. When someone appears fragile, you lower your defenses. You lean in closer. You offer comfort, and in doing so, you surrender control. Think about it. When someone tells you, "I've been hurt before," you instinctively want to prove you're different. You start accommodating them. You excuse behaviors you wouldn't tolerate from others. You give more than you should because you believe they need you. But here's the dark truth. In many cases, this isn't vulnerability at all. It's strategy. So, how do you tell the difference between authentic openness and manipulative oversharing? Watch for these signs. Timing to real vulnerability unfolds gradually. If someone dives into heavy trauma in the first hour of knowing you, be cautious. Reciprocity to authentic sharing is mutual. Fake vulnerability feels one-sided. They unload, but rarely listen. Agenda. 2. Pay attention to what follows the confession. If their openness is immediately followed by a request for your time, energy, loyalty, or silence, it's a red flag. Repetition to true healing moves forward. Fake vulnerability keeps recycling the same story to keep you emotionally hooked. And, above all, trust your gut. If their confession makes you feel cornered instead of connected, you're not witnessing intimacy. You're walking into a trap. Here's the hardest truth. Your empathy can be weaponized against you. And that means you need to set boundaries, even when your heart wants to help. When someone overshares too quickly, don't mirror their intensity. Match it slowly. Let trust build over time. If they try to make you feel guilty for needing space, that's confirmation enough. Their vulnerability isn't for connection. It's for control. Remember this. Real connection invites you in. Fake connection corners you. But here's where it gets darker. Some manipulators won't guilt you. They won't confuse you. They won't overshare. Instead, they'll do something far more subtle. They won't pressure you at all. They'll simply stall you, trapping you in an endless loop of waiting, hoping, and second-guessing yourself. This is called the delay loop. And in Part 4, we'll break down exactly how people use time itself as a weapon to keep you stuck, powerless, and endlessly patient for something that was never coming. In Part 3, we exposed fake vulnerability, how manipulators pretend to be open to trap your empathy and turn your kindness into a chain. But now, we're entering darker territory because some manipulators won't guilt you. They won't confuse you. They won't pretend to need saving. Instead, they'll stall you. They'll keep you waiting. They'll make you hope. And while you're standing still, believing progress is just around the corner, they're quietly controlling you. Nietzsche warned us, those who lack the courage to act invent excuses to make others wait. Welcome to the delay loop, a silent, powerful manipulation tactic that traps your time, drains your energy, and convinces you to stay exactly where they want you, while they give you nothing in return. It starts small. They say things like, "Let me think about it. Maybe next week. I just need more time." Reasonable, right? You don't want to pressure them. You want to respect their pace. But deep down, you know something's wrong. Because weeks pass, months pass, and nothing changes. This is not indecision. This is strategy. The delay loop works because it feeds on your hope. It keeps you believing that progress is coming. Soon. Just not yet. And hope is one of the most powerful forms of control. Here's the dark genius of this tactic. They're not saying no, because if they did, you'd walk away. Instead, they give you just enough possibility to keep you invested. They drip-feed phrases like, "I just need space to figure things out. I really want this too, just not right now. You're being impatient. Trust me, it'll happen." But here's the reality. Behind almost every maybe later is a silent no. They're too cowardly to speak. And while you're waiting, you stop moving forward. You stop exploring other options. You stop demanding clarity. Your time is being stolen. Your energy is being drained. Your future is being delayed. Nietzsche would call this a leash disguised as patience. And every second you wait, the leash pulls tighter. When someone keeps you in a delay loop, they're not just controlling your decisions. They're reshaping your psychology. Here's how. Step 1. Emotional investment. The longer you wait, the more invested you become. You start thinking, I've already put in so much time. I can't walk away now. Step 2. Self-blame. They flip the narrative subtly. You're being impatient. You're expecting too much. You start questioning your own expectations, as if you're the problem for wanting clarity. Step 3. Dependency. They position themselves as the gatekeeper of your next step. Your happiness, your progress, even your peace of mind becomes tied to their decision. And that's the trap. Because now, you're no longer living your timeline. You're living theirs. Nietzsche believed that those who can't act often hide behind elaborate excuses. He warned us, delay is not restraint. It is domination disguised as patience. The manipulator doesn't have to say much. They don't need aggression. They don't need pressure. They simply create uncertainty and let you destroy yourself with it. Because uncertainty breeds anxiety. Anxiety breeds obsession. And obsession keeps you exactly where they want you. The antidote to manipulation is clarity. Here's how to break free. Step 1. Set your timeline. Decide how long you're willing to wait. Don't let them decide it for you. Step 2. Ask once, ask clearly. State what you need directly. No circles, no hints. Step 3. Take silence as a decision. If they can't give clarity, give it to yourself. Assume their hesitation is a no, because every minute spent waiting on someone else's maybe is a minute stolen from your own growth. But manipulators are clever. If delay doesn't control you, they'll try something more insidious. They'll compare you to others. Quietly, subtly, strategically. They'll make you feel not good enough, not by attacking you directly, but by praising someone else right in front of you. And that's the next manipulation trap, quiet comparison. In Part 5, we'll reveal how people use invisible competitions to chain you to their approval and keep you performing endlessly for validation you'll never receive. In Part 4, we exposed the delay loop, how manipulators stall you, keep you hoping, and quietly steal your time without giving you anything in return. But not every manipulator traps you with silence. Some use something far subtler, far more psychological, something Nietzsche himself called the slow erosion of the self. They don't attack you. They don't criticize you. They don't even raise their voice. Instead, they praise someone else right in front of you, and they do it on purpose. Welcome to the quiet comparison, a manipulation tactic designed to make you compete for approval you will never receive. Imagine this. You're working hard. You're showing up, giving your best effort, investing your time and energy. And then, suddenly, they say, "Did you see how Sarah handled that project? She's incredible. Honestly, I wish more people were as reliable as David. You know, he never forgets deadlines. No direct insult. No criticism. No confrontation. But something inside you tightens. you start second-guessing yourself. Am I not enough? Am I falling behind? Am I losing their approval? That discomfort is intentional. The manipulator knows exactly how much you value their recognition. And by praising someone else instead of you, they plant a seed of insecurity, a subtle reminder that your worth is conditional. Here's why this tactic is so effective. Humans are wired for social belonging. Our brains evolved in small groups, where survival depended on acceptance and status. When someone compares you to another person, it triggers an ancient fear. If I'm not valuable, I could be replaced. If I'm replaced, I lose safety. I lose connection. Manipulators exploit this. They weaponize your need to belong, making you work harder, not for growth, but for validation. And here's the cruel part. The goalpost keeps moving. No matter how much you improve, they'll always find someone better, someone faster, someone smarter. And every comparison keeps you performing while they sit back and enjoy the control. Nietzsche believed that one of the greatest forms of control is to shape someone's self-image without ever touching them. He wrote, "Man will do almost anything to avoid feeling inferior." And manipulators know this. They create an invisible competition, a game where you're constantly proving yourself. But the rules are unspoken, and the finish line doesn't exist. Over time, this creates something dangerous: self-abandonment. You stop asking, "What do I want? What feels right to me?" Instead, you ask, "What will make them finally approve of me?" And that question is the trap. Quiet comparison can be hard to detect because it hides inside innocent praise. But here are the warning signs. Frequent third-party praise too. They constantly highlight others' successes while ignoring your efforts. Strategic timing too. These comparisons happen right after you've done something significant, undermining your progress. Subtle exclusion too. You're left out of conversations or recognition, reinforcing the sense that you're less than. Emotional cycling too. You feel good when they validate you, but devastated when they don't. This pattern is by design. They're training you to chase their approval like a reward you'll never fully earn. Here's the truth. Your value doesn't exist in comparison to anyone else. The only way to disarm this tactic is to step out of the invisible game. Step 1. Recognize the pattern. See comparison for what it is: a tool of control. Step 2. Reclaim your standards. Stop measuring your worth by someone else's expectations. Set your own metrics for success. Step 3. Create emotional distance. If someone constantly uses comparison to manipulate you, limit your dependence on their approval, because the moment you stop chasing validation, their power collapses. But the most dangerous manipulators don't just compare you to others. They make you compare yourself to who you used to be. They trap you in your own past, forcing you to question your growth, your worth, and even your identity. This is the reverse mirror tactic. And in part 6, we'll uncover how manipulators use your own history as a weapon against you, making you doubt whether you've changed at all. In part 5, we revealed the quiet comparison, how manipulators subtly praise others to make you compete endlessly for validation you'll never receive. But the most dangerous manipulators don't compare you to others. They compare you to yourself. They turn your past mistakes, your old insecurities, your former failures into a weapon that keeps you questioning whether you've ever grown at all. Nietzsche once wrote, "The past is not a chain, but many wear it like one." And manipulators know exactly how to tighten that chain until you doubt not only your choices, but your entire identity. Welcome to the reverse mirror tactic, a psychological trap where they use your own history to make you distrust yourself. It begins innocently. A passing comment, a casual reminder. "Remember when you messed that up last year? You've always been like this. See, nothing's really changed." At first, it feels harmless, like they're just reminiscing, but over time, you notice a pattern. Every time you express a new idea, a new plan, a new dream, they drag you backward. They hold up an old version of you and force you to see yourself through it. And slowly, your confidence begins to fracture. Because the more you focus on who you were, the less you believe in who you're becoming. Here's why this tactic works so well. Humans crave consistency. Psychologically, we want our self-image to make sense. So when someone keeps reminding you of your past flaws, you subconsciously start to align with that narrative. Maybe I really haven't changed. Maybe I'm still the same failure I used to be. Maybe they're right about me. And here's where the manipulation deepens. They create a loop where they define your identity too by constantly referencing your old self. You internalize the identity to doubting your growth and your choices. You seek their validation to hoping they'll finally acknowledge you've changed. But they never do, because keeping you trapped in a cycle of self-doubt is exactly how they control you. Nietzsche believed that true power lies in controlling how someone sees themselves. He wrote, "To make a man doubt his becoming is to bind him to his being." Think about that. If you can convince someone they'll never change, you don't need to chain them physically. You've already chained their mind. That's why this manipulation tactic is one of the most dangerous of all. Because unlike external control, this lives inside you. It rewires the way you think about yourself. And once you doubt your ability to change, you stop trying. Here's how to recognize if someone is weaponizing your past. Constant reminders too. They frequently bring up your old failures, mistakes, or insecurities. Identity labeling too. They reduce you to phrases like, "You've always been like this. That's just who you are." Minimizing growth to, "No matter what you achieve," they dismiss it with, "Sure, but remember when you failed before?" Eroding trust to they make you believe your judgment is unreliable, forcing you to depend on their version of you. If this sounds familiar, you're not just remembering your past, you're being trapped by it. The first step to escaping this manipulation is understanding one brutal truth. You are not your past. Here's how to reclaim your narrative. Step 1. Name the pattern. Say it plainly. They keep using my past to define me. Awareness is the first cut to the chain. Step 2. Redefine yourself. List every small, real change you've made. Anchor yourself in evidence that you are not who you once were. Step 3. Set boundaries. When someone drags your past into conversations, redirect firmly. "That's not who I am anymore." Step 4. Choose your own mirror. Surround yourself with people who reflect your current self, not your outdated one. Because the moment you reclaim how you see yourself, their manipulation loses all power. Nietzsche believed that freedom begins the moment you stop living by someone else's narrative. Become who you are. The manipulators of your life will always try to keep you small, doubtful, and chained to the person you used to be. But the truth is, you're allowed to outgrow their story. You're allowed to evolve. You're allowed to become someone new. And once you stop seeing yourself through their mirror, you finally see yourself clearly.